and welcome back. I hope you will have a copy of 12 Rules for Life and maybe Maps of Meaning as well. That would be fantastic. But if not, then hopefully this article will encourage you to get one. But before we get started, do subscribe to the channel if you want to see the channel grow. Do like and comment to show YouTube that it's a video worth watching with some engagement. I will reply to any comment that you wish to ask me, and do send me any recommendations that you think are worthwhile. So, Jordan Peterson launches anti-censorship site ThinkSpot, and it's been coming for a while. If you've been listening to him and Dave Rubin when they left Patreon over a year ago now, I think it was, in the wake of Sargon Ricard, Carl Benjamin being banned due to a comment he said on somebody else's channel a while ago, and then later he was banned for it, for calling the alt-right white niggers by saying that, hey, you're being what you're saying the other people are being, essentially. So he's trying to use their own words against them, and for doing that he got banned. So it's basically, if you're citing sources and using those words, you can get banned. And that's why Tim Pool goes around the algorithm by saying neo-Nazis are like World War II villains or ethno-supremacists, that kind of thing, in order to get around it, because he's worried about the transcript. I'm not. Maybe that's why my channel isn't growing nearly as fast, but nonetheless, I'm straight-laced. And with that in mind, Black Pigeon Speaks has recently been banned from YouTube as well, and therefore it's recommended you follow your creators on BitChute. I'll be creating a BitChute account soon as well, and I will leave that in the channel of my future videos. But for the time being, Jordan Peterson launches anti-censorship site ThinkSpot, right-wing academic, if you say so, just because he doesn't hate Christianity. Okay. Enlists failed UKIP MEP candidate Carl Benjamin to test subscription-only platform. Is this an editorial then? Because that's what it seems like. Why would you mention failed UKIP MEP candidate Carl Benjamin? Are you going to mention the rape comments as well? John Peterson, the controversial academic, but why? He's helping so many people. He isn't radicalising anybody. In fact, he's doing the opposite. But what, just because he's gaining followers and people who like him by saying that identity politics is bad? That's why he's become a hate figure for many on the left. The psychology professor and clinical psychiatrist, might I add, from Toronto, said that Carl Benjamin, the failed UKIP MP candidate, yet again, who speculated about raping the Labour MP Jess Phillips. Right, so you're going to say Joe Brand is joking about battery acid, but this is speculating about rape. The fucking double standards, Jesus Christ. Are you a news organisation? Because you don't seem like it, do you? Had agreed to test the description-only site named ThinkSpot. Peterson has a cult following. Really? As in people who are growing up in something, indoctrinated and told to not question any outside sources, and are pushed away if they are, and they're not allowed to review anything from dissenting voices. It's not as if Peterson does debates on a frequent basis. Oh, but he does. Well, that blows that out of the water. Why are you lying? Is it because you can't get any followers if you're being truthful? Seems that way. Among right-wingers for controversial views about identity politics, as in saying you're an individual, not part of a group, so take responsibility for your own life and stop blaming other people. Yeah, because that's actually part of success, and it goes against victimhood. He's actually trying to empower people and make people's lives better, instead of dragging down other people. What a radical thought. Actually making people happier. But you hate that, don't you? It's sickening, and has become a hate figure for many on the left. Yeah, for any collectivists. And many on the right as well, if you're going to go with the alt-right and identity politics and collectivists, because the alt-right hate him for the same reason, for saying identity politics is not a good idea. You don't beat them by playing their own game, you beat them by not playing the game. The only way to win is to not play the game, as Patrice O'Neill would say. Early this year, the University of Cambridge rescinded an offer of visiting fellowship to Peterson after backlash from staff and students, with, I think, Milo rightly pointed out, say, well, if you're going to attack the academic institutions, then don't try to be accepted by them at the same time. Peterson said he hoped the site would be a censorship-free alternative to Patreon online membership service that he at one stage made the Canadian $80,000 per month. Wow! So, he doesn't seem that controversial, he seems extremely popular, and yet he left because it was on his own morals and his own standings, instead of being pushed off. Right, so this really popular guy who stands by his morals, you're saying there's a problem with him? The guy who's helped a load of especially young straight white men who have been demonized by the media and university institutions. He's the bad guy. You're really destroying your own argument here. How can you not see that? He said it'll be a subscription service, so that's partly what makes it a replacement for Patreon to some degree, because we want to be able to monetize creators. It's an extreme position on free speech. Peterson said, once you're on our platform, we won't take you down unless we're ordered by a US court of law. That's basically the idea. So we're trying to make an anti-censorship platform. Fair enough. Might be a bit extreme, I understand, but I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. Peterson, who describes himself as a professor against political correctness, good man. I mean, if this is doing anything, it's encouraging people to follow him. And I would encourage you to get his books as well. So that Benjamin, who blogs under the blogs, really, and named Sargon of Akkad, was one of a handful of controversial figures who had been invited to test the initiative. And controversial figures, I love the names they've got. Got 4, 5, or 6 people who are lined up. Dave Rubin is going to use it. Well, yes, we can't have a gay man. That's not good. Oh, that goes against your narrative. Shit. James Altucher, Jocko Willink. I adore Jocko Willink. Extreme ownership, dichotomy of leadership with Leif Babin and then his children books as well. The ex-Navy SEAL. I strongly recommend you check him out. He's amazing. Check out his podcast as well, the Jocko podcast. It is fantastic. Michael Shermer, not sure about that gentleman, and Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad. Well, of course, there'll be a first beta test fundamentally. Peterson called for more tests of the site on his Twitter account. He said, I'm backing a new platform called ThinkSpot, currently in beta. Get on the waitlist here. Exciting announcements coming very soon. Some people are saying it's just like Gab, which is fair enough. Comments on the site will be voted on by users on a thumbs up or down basis. If you have down votes to have votes falls by 50-50, then your comments will be hidden, Peterson said. So it's basically like Reddit, although people are saying, well, it's like shadow banning. So this is what Reddit says. You can still see the comment if you want to, but if it's unpopular, then they're not going to waste your time. That's the idea. But if you want your time wasted, then you can view it. He said there will still be problems on the site to iron out, but it would be nice to have a censorship-free platform if we could figure out how to do that. Yes, definitely, and it's the figuring out how to do it which is definitely difficult, but I like the idea of monetizing creators because there's definitely a desire for this to be seen. And I just abhor the idea that people are going to be driven underground and then be collectivized by being mildly disagreeable and just not taking on what the left says at face value, and then also being much more extreme with being white supremacists and that kind of thing, to say, well, hey, it's defined by race, not ideas, and people are different based on inherent value, and no matter what you do, you cannot supersede the white race, for example. Same goes for black supremacists, but apparently racism is only right-wing if it's for the white people. It doesn't make sense, but anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Do stick around if you want. There are always more videos to watch, new videos every single day, and I will see you next time.